thousands of fans, one superstar, and a league forever changed. Just days after Caitlin Clark pulled in 2.1 million viewers against Dallas, ABC's fourth most watched regular season WNBA game ever, she's about to do it again in Boston.
A lot of fans outside of the Fan Fest wearing Fever merch and Caitlin Clark jerseys and things like that. What does it mean to you to know that your team has fans, all the way out here on the East Coast?
No, I mean, it's huge, and that's the thing about generational talent.
As Connecticut Sun home fans arrived at TD Garden yesterday, they found themselves outnumbered before tip-off. Not a single Sun jersey in sight, only Fever Orange and Clark's number 22. What happens when one player shatters every expectation and turns every arena into her personal stage? Before Caitlin Clark's arrival, a typical WNBA game on national television attracted between 300,000 and 400,000 viewers. Figures that barely registered against other major sports broadcasts. That all changed on May 28th, when Clark's first ABC appearance against the Dallas Wings drew an average audience of 2.1 million and peaked at 2.5 million viewers, numbers that rival early NBA playoff rounds.
The WNBA haven't been seeing numbers like that, and they've been here since 1997.
Just 2 weeks later, her game versus the New York Liberty pushed even higher, averaging 2.2 million viewers and reaching a peak of 2.8 million, the third highest regular season NBA telecast in ESPN history. This surge isn't limited to network television. The Fever's season finale against the Las Vegas Aces shattered the previous cable record for a WNBA contest, despite minimal lead-in promotion. Streaming numbers follow the same trend. WNBA League Pass subscriptions have climbed 120% year over year, with Clark's matchups accounting for more than 60% of all digital streams. Overall, ESPN reports a 7% increase in total WNBA viewership across its platforms, while ABC's regular season average has jumped 69% compared to 2024. Whether on broadcast TV, cable, or streaming, the pattern is unmistakable. When Caitlin Clark takes the floor, viewers tune in, and they stay glued until the final whistle. Her presence has redefined the WNBA's broadcast footprint, turning fringe interest into appointment viewing.
If Caitlin Clark started her own league and just quit the WNBA, it'll be more viewed than WNBA. Like that's a fact.
Last night's Connecticut Sun Indiana Fever game at Boston's TD Garden wasn't just sold out. It was overtaken by Fever fans. Official attendance hit 19,156, capacity for an arena that normally hosts Celtics playoff games. Yet not a single Connecticut Sun jersey was cited. Instead, Fever Orange and Caitlin Clark gear filled every seat. Fans queued for hours before doors opened, with secondary market tickets trading at an average of $235, up from the face value of $75, reflecting a markup of over 200%. Local MBTA trains reported a 30% surge in ridership on game night, prompting extra cars on the Green Line to accommodate Clark's following. Neighborhood bars and restaurants from North End to Fenway Corner ran Clark Effect specials, triple threat nachos, and Kate's Courtside cocktails, drawing packed lines well before tip-off. Social media exploded. The TD Garden takeover trended nationally, with fan-shot videos capturing waves of chants on CLARK and standing room-only sections. Even local news crews abandoned routine traffic reports to cover the fan frenzy, airing live crosswalk shots of fans wearing Fever jerseys in downtown Boston. This wasn't merely a game, it was a demonstration of Clark's ability to galvanize an entire city, turning a Sun home court into her personal arena overnight. Caitlin Clark's rookie season wasn't just a breakout on the court, it was a financial windfall. An Indiana University Columbus economist calculated her presence drove $36 million in local economic impact for Indianapolis and contributed to 27% of the WNBA's total 2024 revenue, covering ticket sales, merchandise, and broadcast rights. That surge has reshaped team valuations. The Fever, previously pegged at $275 million, are now closing in on $400 million, buoyed by projected revenues topping $65 million this year. Across the league, sponsorship deals have doubled in value for Clark-led promotions. Jersey sales jumped 240%, and licensed merchandise revenue rose 180% compared to pre-Clark seasons. League owners from Phoenix, Las Vegas, and New York quietly admit regret over passing on the chance to draft her, as local partners chase Fever alliances instead. Inside sources say Indiana's front office is considering equity-based incentives, a groundbreaking move under the current collective bargaining agreement, to reward Clark's outsized contribution. In a league still finding its financial footing, one 23-year-old has dramatically rewritten the economics of women's pro basketball. Families who never followed women's basketball are now rearranging vacation plans around Clark's schedule. social media-driven road trips have become common, with fans traveling across state lines and even to Canada to catch her live. Meanwhile, youth league registrations in Iowa and Indiana surged by over 30% in 2024 as girls pick up basketballs aiming to replicate Clark's deep threes and lightning-fast court vision. Major brands have raced to align themselves with Clark's breakout star power. In 2024, she landed a signature shoe deal with Nike, became the first women's college player to secure a State Farm spokesperson role, and added Gatorade, Hy-Vee, and Bose to her endorsement roster, an NIL portfolio worth an estimated $3.4 million by the end of her collegiate career. Off the court, the atmosphere whenever the Fever visit has flipped arenas into playoff-caliber venues. The Atlanta Dream moved a home game to the 17,000-seat State Farm Arena to accommodate a Clark-driven crowd of 17,600, setting an attendance record for a regular season contest. Retired legends and analysts alike compare her impact to a tsunami, with Dawn Staley crediting Clark for lifting up our sport, and Mary Jo Kane labeling it unprecedented. This isn't just about metrics on a scoreboard. It's a full-blown cultural phenomenon, one player reshaping perceptions, inspiring a new generation, and proving that women's basketball can captivate mainstream audiences. Once relegated to off-hour slots, WNBA games are now marquee events. ABC has secured the first half of next season's schedule, reportedly paying 15% more than its 2024 agreement to guarantee primetime windows for Fever matchups featuring Clark. ESPN's WNBA Game of the Week, often headlined by Clark contests, now occupies coveted Friday and Sunday evening slots with lead broadcast teams typically reserved for NBA marquee matchups. Mainstream outlets have followed suit. Good Morning America broadcast a live pregame segment from TD Garden on game day, only the second time a morning news show has devoted airtime to a regular season women's sporting event. Even late-night hosts reference Clark's highlights in monologues, reflecting her role as a pop culture figure beyond the hardwood. On the streaming front, WNBA League Pass subscriptions surged 120% year over year, with Clark's nationally televised games driving nearly 70% of all new signups. Digital sports media have adapted. Bleacher Report runs a weekly Clark Watch column that consistently ranks among its top 5 most read basketball pieces, while The Athletic's Edge of Your Seat podcast saw a 230% spike in downloads for its Clark-focused episodes. This broadcasting overhaul isn't just about airtime. It's a seismic shift in how networks value and present women's sports, transforming WNBA coverage from marginal filler into must-watch television. The flip side of Clark's superstar pull is glaring. Viewership without her plummets. The very next WNBA playoff game after Clark's elimination averaged under 1 million viewers, down more than 60% from her 2.5 million peak telecast. Behind closed doors, league executives admit they've never seen ratings swing so dramatically on a single player's presence. That volatility poses a critical question. What happens if Clark misses time with injury, sits out for rest, or inevitably retires? Can arenas continue to sell out, and will networks still pay premium rights fees when the must-see draw is absent? The WNBA's boom, built in Clark's image, risks looking more like a house of cards than a sustainable model. To hedge that risk, the league is fast-tracking other emerging talents into the spotlight. Angel Reese, whose physical inside play earned her Rookie of the Year buzz. Rhyne Howard, a dynamic scorer and all-star, and veteran Natasha Howard, lauded for her two-way versatility, all are slated for featured game promotions and national TV spotlights. Collective bargaining talks have even floated revenue share tweaks to give top performers Clark-style compensation, aiming to nurture multiple marketable stars. But turning short-term interest into long-term stability requires more than pay raises. The WNBA must build narratives around these players, invest in regional fan engagement initiatives, and secure broadcast windows independent of any single name. In essence, the league needs to learn from the Clark effect, without becoming hostage to it, before the record-breaking surge comes crashing down. Buoyed by Clark's trailblazing craze, the league is eyeing new frontiers. Boston, thanks to consecutive TD Garden sellouts, sits atop expansion candidate lists. Toronto, Nashville, and even London have surfaced as potential homes, each backed by civic studies showing viable fan bases and corporate sponsors. Reports claim expansion fees could climb to $50 million per franchise, double what early 2020 projections estimated, thanks to the league's red-hot valuation. Yet expansion only scratches the surface. League officials emphasize the need for sustainable growth, developing regional marketing, strengthening youth pipelines, and forging deeper TV partnerships in international markets. Above all, they stress creating a constellation of stars, so the WNBA's appeal transcends any single name. The Clark era has delivered a golden window. Now the challenge is striking while the iron's hot, before the novelty fades. Caitlin Clark didn't just break viewership records, she shattered expectations, and she did it as a rookie. From 2.1 million ABC viewers to 19,000 screaming fans at TD Garden, every milestone underlines a seismic shift in women's professional sports. Yet with her impact comes responsibility for the league to harness this moment, for franchises to build new icons, and for fans to keep showing up when the buzzer sounds.